Your grandparents could do things with their two hands that would stop you dead in your tracks today. They didn't call a repairman. They didn't look it up. They didn't order a new one. They just knew how. They could feed a family from a patch of dirt, fix what broke, make what they needed, and read the sky like a book, all without a single screen, a single app, or a single instruction video. We've traded almost all of it for convenience, and most of it is now nearly gone. Skills that took a lifetime to master, disappearing in a single generation. Today we're counting down 15 lost skills every grandparent knew that almost nobody can do anymore. Some will amaze you. Some might make you a little wistful for a tougher, more capable time. And number one was once the true mark of a grown man and woman, and today hardly anyone can do it at all. Let's go back to a time when people didn't buy their way out of problems, they worked their way out. When a person was measured not by what they owned, but by what they could do. And before we count them down, if you can still do a few of these, or you watched your grandparents do them, subscribe and stay with me. This channel is for people who remember when hands were useful. Now, number 15. Number 15. Reading a paper map. Before a calm voice told you to turn left in 500 feet, people found their own way. They unfolded a giant paper map across the hood of the car, traced the route with a finger, and remembered it. They navigated by rivers, by the sun, by a barn they'd passed before. They could get anywhere without a machine telling them how. Hand most people a folded paper map today, and they couldn't even get it closed again, let alone find their way home. Number 14. Doing the math in their head. At the market, your grandmother could add up a whole basket of groceries in her head, work out the change, and catch the clerk if he got it wrong, all before he'd finished ringing it up. No calculator, no phone, just a sharp mind that had been trained to actually use numbers. Today, the register does the thinking, and if the power goes out, the line stops cold. We handed our arithmetic to a machine and quietly forgot how to do it ourselves. Number 13. Writing in a beautiful hand. They wrote in cursive, flowing, looping, elegant handwriting, and they wrote letters. Real letters. Sat down at the kitchen table, thoughts gathered, words chosen, sealed in an envelope, and sent across the miles. A person's handwriting was as personal as their voice. Today cursive isn't even taught, and a handwritten letter is so rare it feels like a treasure. A whole generation's grandchildren will never get one. Number 12. Putting a real edge on a blade. A grandfather could take a dull knife or an axe, sit down with a whetstone and a little oil, and with slow, patient strokes, bring it back to an edge that would shave the hair off your arm. A sharp tool was a point of pride. A dull one was a sign of a careless man. Today, we throw the blade away and buy another. The quiet skill of restoring an edge, by hand, by feel, has almost completely vanished. And the next four are the ones that truly built a home. Stay with me. Number 11. Mending instead of replacing. A torn shirt, a ripped seam, a hole in the knee. None of it went in the bin. Out came the needle and thread, and it was sewn, darned, and patched good as new. Your grandmother could mend a tear so cleanly you'd never find it. Clothes lasted years, not one season. Now a small rip means the whole thing gets thrown out, because almost no one can do the 10-minute fix that used to be second nature. Number 10. Knitting a whole sweater by hand. With nothing but 2 needles and a ball of wool, they could make clothing. Sweaters, socks, scarves, baby blankets. Warm, sturdy, made to last, and made with love. A grandmother's hands could work away all evening by the fire and turn out something you'd wear for 20 years. Today we buy it cheap and toss it cheap. The patient art of making your own warm clothes, stitch by stitch, has nearly slipped away. Number 9. Canning the harvest. When the garden came in all at once, they didn't waste a scrap. They put it up. Tomatoes, beans, peaches, pickles, jams, all sealed into glowing glass jars that would feed the family right through the winter. It took skill and care to do it safely, and a full cellar shelf was a source of deep pride. That whole art, turning a summer garden into a year of meals, is something almost no young family can do anymore. Number 8. Baking bread from memory. No recipe card, no measuring, no bread machine. Your grandmother knew the feel of the dough in her hands, when it needed more flour, when it had been kneaded enough, when it had risen right. She baked the same perfect loaves every week for 50 years, entirely by feel and memory. That kind of deep, hands-on knowledge that lives in the fingers, not on a page, is exactly the kind we've lost. Number 7. Growing their own food. They could take a bare patch of ground and turn it into a table full of food. They knew when to plant, how to read the soil, how to coax tomatoes and beans and potatoes out of the dirt, and how to save the seeds for next year. It wasn't a cute hobby, it was how you ate. Today, most people couldn't grow a meal to save their lives, and we've forgotten that real food security starts with a shovel and a bit of know-how. Number 6. Breaking down a whole chicken. Meat didn't come in a neat plastic tray. It came whole, and every cook knew exactly how to break it down. Your grandmother could take a whole chicken and, in a couple of minutes, have it cut clean into pieces, nothing wasted, the bones saved for soup. Those who lived on farms could dress what they raised or what they caught, start to finish. It's a skill that fed families for generations, and one hardly anyone has now. Halfway through the toughest, most capable list on this channel, and the last 5 are the ones I most wish we'd kept. Number 5. Building a proper fire. Give the average person today 1 match and a pile of wood, and they'll stand there in the cold. But your grandparents could split the kindling with an axe, lay the wood just right, and coax a warm, steady fire to life in the wind and the damp. Every time. Fire meant warmth, cooking, survival. Knowing how to make one, reliably, with your own hands, was as basic as breathing. And now, it's a skill people pay to learn on weekend courses. Number 4. Making their own music. Before a screen entertained everyone, families made their own joy. Someone sat down at the piano, or picked up a fiddle or a guitar, often playing by ear with no sheet music at all, and the whole family sang together around them. Evenings were filled with real music, made by real hands, in the room with you. That warm, homemade music, a family gathered around one piano, has been replaced by everyone alone with their headphones, and something precious went quiet. Number 3. Knowing which plants heal. They could walk out into the fields and woods, read them. This plant soothes a cough, this root brings down a fever, this leaf draws out a sting. Home remedies passed down through generations, a knowledge of the living world that kept families well long before a pharmacy sat on every corner. Most of us today couldn't name 3 wild plants, let alone use one. An entire library of healing wisdom is fading with the people who still hold it. Number 2. Reading the sky. No weather app, just a lifetime of watching. Your grandfather could step outside, look at the color of the morning sky, feel the shift in the wind, watch how the animals behaved, and tell you a storm was coming before a single cloud showed. Red sky at morning, sailors take warning. It wasn't magic. It was paying close attention to the world, year after year, until it spoke to you. We stopped watching the sky the day it started living in our pockets. And now, number 1, the skill that was once the true mark of a grown man and woman, and the one almost nobody has anymore. They could fix anything. A leaking faucet, a broken chair, a dead engine, a torn screen door, a sticking window, a wobbly table. It didn't matter. They didn't replace it, and they didn't call anyone. They rolled up their sleeves, figured out how it worked, and fixed it with the tools in the drawer and the knowledge in their heads. Every home had a workbench, and every grandparent was, in their own quiet way, a mechanic, a carpenter, a plumber, and an inventor all at once. That was the heart of that whole generation. Not that they had more, but that they could do more. When something broke, they didn't feel helpless. They felt useful. And that feeling, the deep, steady confidence of a person who can take care of themselves and the people they love, is the real thing we lost. Not just a skill, a whole way of standing in the world. The good news, none of it is gone forever. Every one of these skills is still here, still learnable, still waiting. The hands that can do them are just a little rarer now. And every time one of us picks one back up, bakes the bread, mends the coat, plants the garden, fixes the broken thing instead of tossing it, we keep that whole, capable, self-reliant world alive. So tell me, and I read every comment, which of these can you still do? Which did you watch your grandmother or grandfather do that you'd give anything to see one more time? Leave it down below. Let's remember them together. And if this stirred something in you, go watch my video on the 20 forgotten Depression-era survival tricks that still work today. Because that generation didn't just have these skills, they used them to get through the hardest times in living memory. It's on the screen right now. I'll see you there.